They have challenged India can't build an LLM model. What I can say is, at the end of first day, I found out that data science is something which I'm finding it as interesting one. No one is that willing to directly offer a job to a data scientist who is a fresher. So the best part you can do here is actually attract recruiter who is looking for good candidate. I'm not saying the best candidate, but good candidate. So he can't just say, I have applied Python algorithm, I have just applied machine learning, and these are the results which are coming up. No. So whenever you are choosing the project, should not be on a dummy data sets. Whenever you are writing a code, try to convert it into a UI, try to convert it into an interactive dashboard, or try to convert it into a storyboard. I was the person who was standing on the road for the spot admission in mechanical. From electronics, I was going to mechanical. You need to be very clear. Data science is a field which is less about the technical knowledge, more about the business knowledge. You can't just highlight the skill section, like I have these skills. No, it doesn't matter. If you are just switching from non-tech background to data science, don't just get enveloped with all this. It's like Bhulbulaiya. You just get lost. That should not happen. So, recruiter should look at you as like, this is an asset for my company. You should not look just as a candidate for my company. No, you should be the asset of company.
Today we are excited to have Gaurav Topre with us. He is the founder of Tech Education, where he focuses on helping students and professionals grow their skills in tech and data. Gaurav completed his bachelor's degree at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, and since then he's been dedicated to making quality tech education accessible to all. In this episode, Gaurav shares some powerful advice on building a career in data, from mastering essential skills to standing out in the job market. He also gives practical tips for overcoming challenges that data students and aspiring analysts often face. If you are looking to dive into data or take your skills to the next level, this episode is full of valuable insights just for you. Let's welcome Mr. Gaurav Topre. Hello, hi Gaurav sir, how are you?
Hi Chaitanya, I'm fine. How are you?
I am good, sir. Thank you for asking. First of all, I would like to thank you for coming to my podcast and giving your prestigious time for us. Knowledge you are going to share us with today, that will be really valuable for all the data aspirants and the freshers or the students who are entering in data industry. First point I want to discuss with you about your education journey and professional background. We want to know more about how your education journey started, how you ended up with your education journey, and how you entered in professional life, and how is your professional journey going on.
So I completed my bachelor's in electronics and telecommunication engineering from a state technological university in Maharashtra, which is named as Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University. I finished my BTech in 2022, and while I was doing my BTech, I was just got introduced with the field called data science. It was a brother of software engineering. That was I was thinking at that time, but attracted me towards it, and I just taken some courses and all about data science, and that was about my education. Talking about my professional, once I finished my bachelor's, I got into a startup called as Findability Sciences. It was an US based company, and I started my journey as a junior data scientist over there. And currently, I'm working as a data scientist for a retail giant of UK.
So my next point of discussion with you, sir, that is about the interest of your data science. That you say that you are from electronics background, but we want to know that at point of your life that you get interested in data science and you enter in the field. At what point of your life that you get realized that Gaurav is made for the data science?
So actually, it was my third year, I guess, if I'm not wrong, and it was like pandemic situation all over the world, and we was just stuck in our houses, and our lectures was going like in online medium, obviously. So our university have arranged a 5 days boot camp on data science. So it was a government sponsored program where the faculties from renowned university outside will come and they will introduce students with new concepts. So there were multiple workshops arranged. There was one on cyber security, there was one on software development, there was one on what we can say data science. So at that time, I was going through all of them. For the first day, I attended all three of them. But at the end of first day, I found out that data science is something which I'm finding it as interesting one. There, I'm just how the instructor is turning the numbers into some insightful graphs, and I was just attracted towards it. So then I choose to go ahead with the data science bootcamp. I completed the 5 days bootcamp, and by the end of that bootcamp, I decided that yes, this is what I wanted. Second thing is, because of the online medium. I was not that exposed to the electronics practical knowledge. I was having some theoretical knowledge, but practical test was missing. So I choose this plan B. Yeah, in front of you today.
Next point I want to discuss with you about your job application process that you followed. What job application process you followed, and what are the interview tips and tricks that are you kept in your mind to crack any interview? We want to know more about it, and please give us advice about it in 2024.
So I'm not the right person to ask about the job switches, but yes, I can tell you about how to land into your first job, right? That is the most important thing, because when you start, it just keep going. As I said, I just completed my BTech and I started working with Mindability Sciences and a startup. So I was just looking for jobs around on LinkedIn, on Naukri.com and on other platforms. And what I observed is that there are minimal jobs for a entry-level data scientist. No one is that willing to directly offer a job to a data scientist who is a fresher and from non-CS background, non-CSIT background or non-statistics background. So the best part you can do here is to express yourself online platform. I'm not talking about the Instagram Snap. I'm just talking about LinkedIn, Kaggle and all the platforms where you can expose yourself and expose your skills to others. So I just implemented that. I learned Tableau, I learned some programming language. So tried building something new which will just attract the recruiters, and by looking at it, they will find it like, yeah, this can be useful or something like that. So I was just doing that, and by doing this, you can truly attract recruiter who is looking for good candidate. I'm not saying the best candidate, but good candidate on LinkedIn or on any other social media platform. Right. Second thing over here is whenever you are designing or whenever you are reaching out to someone, don't reach out to them is like, I wanted a job or just give me a job. Prove them that you are credible for that job. How will you do this? As I said, just by exposing yourself, how good storyteller you are, how good programmer you are, how good statistician you are. You need to expose these all. And once you do this part, then getting a job or getting an internship is a byproduct.
The very important point you said that you can showcase your work like from GitHub, Kaggle.
Yeah.
So it will work for the data science field or data analysis, because I also experienced this. Just not to go with the resume things, but the portfolio like on GitHub acts a major role, because
Right.
there only they can see us and judge us for about the project, all the projects. Let's rewind in our discussion that we are discussing about the GitHub. Okay, so GitHub we are used to showcase our project and the store our project, all the things about the project, our work. So sir, we want to know that what type of projects you done when you are entering in industry. Can you please tell us any specific project that help you a lot to grow you as a skill base also and professionally also, and that help you to crack the interview also?
This can be break down into two parts. So first part is how to choose a project, and second part will be how to present a project. First thing is how to choose the project. So whenever you are choosing the project, should not be on the dummy data sets. There is a dummy data set which is popular in the data science industry, that is Titanic data set. Few people died on Titanic, but no one cares about them now. At that time, there should be. Your recruiter don't care about who died or what were their ages and all. So whenever you are choosing a project, you should choose a real world project. I'm not saying go to the company and ask for the data. You can find various kinds of open source data sources. So you should think of building something out of that. It should not be 100% accurate, but it should have some sense of reality. That is the first thing. This is how you should choose the project. As I'm talking about data science field specifically, doing data science, you need to choose the data first before choosing the project. Or you need to select the field first, like what I'm going to do. Am I going to build a dashboard which comes under business intelligence? Am I going to do any modeling which comes under statistical or machine learning modeling? Or am I going to present an analysis which comes like just do an exploratory data analysis or something sort. So first decide one of these three, and now there is fourth one evolving. Like, shall I build a generative AI project? So you should decide out of this. Once the field is decided, then accordingly you can choose a data. And once the data is decided, then we will come to the second part, how to present it. See, recruiters are generally HRs. Senior manager or manager from the data science industry won't come to LinkedIn and search for a candidate. It's a job role of human resource or people partners over there. So they don't really understand about your code. They don't really understand Python. So you need to present your work such a way that it can be clearly understood by non-technical person. What I'm trying to say over here is, let's say as a data scientist, it will be your end consumer. There are two people. If you are working for service-based company, then your customer or the CXOs of your client will be your end consumer. And if you are working for a product-based company, then a normal people who are just using your product, they will be your end consumer. So you need to present your work from very beginning. You need to present your work in such a way that an end consumer can understand, can consume, can utilize it in a proper way without hurdle. So they should not be like, I'm not understanding this functionality, I'm not understanding this line of code, I'm not understanding what is happening here. By this, what I'm trying to say is, whenever you're writing a code, try to convert it into UI, try to convert into an interactive dashboard, or try to convert into a storyboard. Let's say we are developing a classification model. So we have a data for credit cards. We need to predict the defaulters. Who will be defaulted, who will be not. There are two students actually. So one student have completed this project, and second also have completed this project. So till now it is going. The first one just uploaded a code on GitHub, and he just created a README file and explained the code and uploaded the data. But the second one not just uploaded the code, but just used some frameworks, used some open source tools to create an user interface for it. He just had taken a screen recording and uploaded the screen recording where he is showing that if you enter these things, then this will be mapped. So no one cares about the 1,000 records. Who will say, like, you need to show them that enter this and get this out. In this way, you can present your project. So this is all about like how you should decide and how you should present.
Yeah, it's very important point that no one has the time to go through our every GitHub file, every project. So nowadays, in minimum time of thing, that how you can showcase your project, or how you show them that your project is really helpful or insightful, that will be really matter. Yeah, and also I saw the one thing on the internet that about nowadays in our resume that a minimum to a maximum 3 to 4 projects we can add. Okay, as per our size and everything. So one HR suggested that to students, when you are adding the project in a resume, you nowadays the people use multiple resumes to apply in multiple companies. They automate like that about the description and everything. So they mentioned that you can also add the projects that are beneficial or related to our company. Like you can research about the company, like our company service based or product based. You can choose a project likewise, do the project like that, and add that project. So it will really helpful for the things, because things that more judgeable, like anyone HR can judge it about project only. They don't go with the skills and the certification what you done. So first thing is about education, second thing directly project they can look into, and more about the questions come in interview about project only. No one cares that how much certification you done, what you learn in college and everything.
Yeah, so just answering your questions, projects really matters, and what you are saying is 100% true. Whenever you are applying for company, you should just do and research about that company, and you should tailor your resume as per company requirements. So I won't say the company requirements, I would rather say as per the JDs as well. So let's say in data science there are multiple roles. There is machine learning engineer, there is data analyst, there is data scientist, there is an BI developer. These are the various kinds of roles. You need to tailor your resume as per each and every role. Second thing is that for applying only, before entering this field, you need to be very clear that data science is a field which is less about the technical knowledge, more about the business knowledge. That is very true. You can't just write a script of Python like 100 lines of code and you will just get promoted or you will be a star performer. No, you need to show some value out of your work. So that is must. For that, you need to have some interest in what you are doing. You just can't go and do it for a while. For this, you need to understand the field and then enter the. I'm not talking about the data science field here. I'm talking about the business field. Let's say as I am working in a retail, so it's been 10 months for me. I started my retail industry journey, and now I have decided like majority of opportunities which will come to me, I will just shortlist the retail ones in future. I'm very sure about. So this you need to do in the early stages of your career. Once you are clear about it, then you can just look at whatever projects are very value driven in retail, right? So there are few projects, I can't take the name, but you can just look about like what retail industry is looking in data science. So you can just practice it, you can just build and POCs out of it, and you can present it to your resume. And talking about the number of projects, actually it doesn't matter. What matters is quality of your project. And you should, instead of just writing I have used this Flask, I use Python, I use JavaScript, instead of taking big technologies name, no, you can't just highlight the skill section like I have these skills. No, it doesn't matter. As you said, skills doesn't matter on resume. It matters on what values they are driving, impact they are making, what results they are taking out. That's what it matters. It can be explained through the project description. So whenever, let's say, you are presenting a project, show that what impact this project made on the end user. Let's say you have created an, as I mentioned earlier, credit card defaulter model. So this model is reducing the defaulting percent by 30%, 40%, 50%, something like that. If you are able to show that, then it is giving solid suggestions to the recruiters like, yes, this guy or this girl have presented something insightful. He's very confident about it. It is going to work.
Yes, as you say that the data science field is not about the more coding, but about the business thing. So
Right.
many of the students think that it's a coding part and we don't have to focus on more about communication. Is it true that communication not matters in a data science field?
It's absolutely wrong. If someone says this, I don't know why they are saying this. Communication is the most important thing in in data science.
And sir, also tell us the any other soft skills that are most important in data science field.
Storytelling. First and most important thing is storytelling. So let's say I will just give an example from the book I'm going through currently. Like I'm just reading a book. So there is one example given over there. So there is a tennis player A and tennis player B. Tennis player A is having some bad luck. Out of his 5 league matches, he lost 4. Okay, and he have only one match. There is tennis player B who is consecutively winning all his league matches, and then he defeated his opponent with a huge margin in semi-finals and finals. He won the title 21st consecutive time, 21 titles. This is just a story, just a hypothetical story. But this small piece was having combination of two things. Told the failure of someone, journey of someone, success of someone, and achievement of someone. Okay, success is other thing, like he is winning, that is a success. What is achievement? 21st consecutive title he won. So if you say one person lost, one person win, that's it. That's not interesting. No one is driven towards it. Okay, you should drive some interest, actually, not show. You should drive some interest. This can be done using storytelling. Storytelling is the most important thing in the data science world. Let's again take an example of credit card project only. I just love that project. So a bank is having thousands of credit card holders, and the data scientist from that branch is about to report a managing director for that particular bank that we should do this, so that our credit card consumption will increase and the defaulter percent will decrease. So he can't just say, I have applied Python algorithm, I have just applied machine learning, and these are the results which are coming out. No, you need to show by doing this is getting lower, so this is getting higher. The defaulters count is getting lower, so we are having higher turnaround and just bill payments, right? These story need to come out. And if someone thinks that communication is, I will just write a code and I will submit, then you will be a coder for a while. Like for 40 years, you will just code by sitting on your desktop. There is a series on Sony Live called as Cubicles. There is one character who is coding till his 50s. So one of the person goes there and taunts him. This is why you are coding till, because he is not able to evolve. Whichever field you are, I'm not talking about data science. No, it's about software engineering. It's about QA engineering or anything. Let's say you are a QA engineer. You are just manual tester and automation tester. You're testing the bugs. You can't just give a report that these are the bugs. You should tell why this bug, this can happen. So for generating this small sentence, you need to have the storytelling skill. Coming to the data science, without story, there is nothing. So everyone, you will not realize it in the early stages of your career, but hopefully when you will complete 1 or 2 years, then you will realize that yes, communication and story is the most important part. This story is not the one which we used to listen from our grandparents or parents. This is very different. This is very interesting.
So my next point of discussion about the many of the students who are switching their career from the non-tech to tech background. The many of the students from commerce and arts background, they are coming into the data science and data analytics field. So what roadmap you will suggest to them that you go through this roadmap? This will help you with the roadmap. And my question is that what really matters in data science field? Your skills or degree?
So I will answer second question first. Your skills matter. Degree doesn't matter. Okay, degree doesn't matter. I won't say it is useless. It is useful. Talking about what matters more, so obviously skills matter. Even if you are graduate from an renowned foreign university, but you don't have that practical implications, you don't have that skill to present yourself, or you don't have skills to drive some value out of your work, that degree is useless. And if you are from tier 3 college, let's say you are from just a private college, a small private college in a small town, you are driving something insightful, your work is counting something for a business, then you are a star performer. Obviously skills matter, degree don't. Coming to your first point, what should be the roadmap? There is not a well-defined roadmap. Okay, as data science is a very vast and evolving, so you need to decide first what role you want to choose. Whether you want to focus on AI, or you want to focus on business intelligence, or you want to focus on data science. Business intelligence is more about telling these stories and reporting numbers and just creating some cool visualization and just presenting them in form of a dashboard, so that executives will understand what is going around the business. That is the first thing. Second thing, data scientists, they are someone who are developing these machine learning models. They are just predicting something, or they are just telling a future in simple words. Third is AI engineers, who are doing really cool things. They are automating the things, just making business to run smoothly by just what we can say, removing some manual steps, and they are just taking world to another level. That is the role of AI. So each one of these is having different roadmaps, but there are few things in common which you should learn, you must learn. First of that is Excel. There is nothing in data science without Excel. Data which you store, that itself sits in Excel. It's in CSV, or it's in Excel, or it's in some other file, but it is structured. If it is structured data, anyhow it is related with Excel. So you should learn Excel. Whenever you are presenting some number, these guys like CXOs, CFOs, CEOs, they won't really open Python code. They won't really open your Hadoop and MySQL. They won't open anything. They will just ask for an Excel report. So Excel is the most important. Talking about the next one is SQL, because there is a data. Now we are playing in a like small ground. So we only have data to few GBs. There are many organizations. We can say each organization is data as hell. Like they're having huge amount of data, which you can't even imagine. Okay. For dealing with this data, for extracting, for transporting, for any kind of operation, you need to have an SQL foundation, strong SQL foundation. Without it, you can't survive. Without data, you can't do anything. Fetching that data, you need this skill SQL. You need to optimize your data as much as possible. So you need to prepare for SQL, Excel. I already covered. Third thing is one of the business intelligence tool. Even though you are going in any of these, if you are going particularly for BI developer, then you should know each and every business intelligence tool, which is what we can say popular in market. Let's say if you are going in general sense, then you should learn one of Tableau, Power BI, or some third party. There is Superset or something like that. You should learn one of them. And you should not just learn. If you are choosing one of them, then it should be crystal clear. You should know end to end. Whatever, how to load the data, how to create visualization, how to create dashboard, how to create storyboard, how to deploy. You should know it. Last thing is one of the programming language. Okay, one of programming language. When I'm saying one of the programming language, there are two programming languages which we can use or we can learn while we are building our career in data science. First is R, second is Python. R is most statistics oriented. You can do various kind of statistical operations and what we can say calculations and modelings in R. Whereas Python is both. You can do modelings and everything. We can develop something out of Python. As like you can develop UIs, you can develop some APIs, etc. So this is the thing. Now coming towards I said this was the last, but coming towards the father of data science, we can say statistics. Without statistics, you can't survive, because let's say you learned SQL, you can extract data. You know Excel, you can just format the data. You know Tableau, you can just create some visualization. You know Python, you can develop an application. Again, what's the use of all? What is the value which is being driven out of it? For that, you need to know SQL. You need to learn the language of data. So statistics can be called as language of data. Okay, so that is the most important thing. Statistics. Lastly, along with this, on top of it, you can learn machine learning. You can learn NLP. You can learn deep learning. But I'm not going into depth of this because many times I have seen freshers who are just going behind these things. They are learning neural network. They are learning deep learning. There is no use of that. If you are fresher, just focus on foundation first. Once you are landing in your job, eventually you will learn everything. In your day-to-day work, you need to work on these things, and eventually you will just have exposure to all the things and you will learn. If you are just switching from non-tech background to data science, don't just get mangled up with all this. It is like bulbuliya. You'll just get lost. So that should not happen. So avoid these like learning deep learning, NLP. I'm not saying you should not focus on it. You can read about it. Don't go into depth in your starting phase of your career. You can practice and you can just experiment it along the way. So this was a roadmap. And talking about the platform which you can use for building your roadmap on your own. I'm not saying you should follow my roadmap, because I'm not the best person in this field. If you want to develop your own roadmap, you should look at your own interest, in which field you need to go, you want to go, and what are your personal interests. Second thing is, there is one website which is openly available, open source, which is called roadmap.sh. When you open that website, you'll get in cool stuff where they're explaining this is the first skill, this is second skill, this is third skill. In first skill, these are the concepts, these are the explanation, these are the examples. I think they have currently upgraded them to like they are also giving some practice sessions as well. So that thing you can use.
But nowadays also in a job description for the data scientist, company mentioned that you have must knowledge of the prompt engineering, Gen AI. So is this also included in the roadmap? Some of the companies ask about the cloud, basics of cloud services also.
As I already defined it, but you should be particular about your role which you are looking. When you are talking about cloud services, it will come in all the roles, but it will specifically come in data engineering roles, right? So if you are looking for data engineering roles, you should be well aware with this concept. Thinking about your first thing which you called it generative AI. Generative AI is just a cherry on top of. I won't say it is a complete different field. It is same as what we are doing. Generative AI is not a rocket science. It is just a model, a large language model built top of ample of amount of data which was collected over the years, which is trained. That model is called as transformer model. What is generative AI? Generative AI is nothing but the GPT. What is GPT? In GPT, T stands for transformer. Okay, so this all comes together from a data. What is the data? That is a text data, eventually getting converted or embedded into numbers called as vectors. Those vectors are getting trained on a model, and that model only knows numbers. That model don't know what I is, what A is. The model don't know it. Whenever you are giving something as an input, it is converting your input into numbers and just doing a similarity search and giving you an output. That's the simple thing. When you are saying you should include generative AI in your skill set, prompt engineering, etc., prompt engineering actually is a skill which everyone should learn, irrespective of their experience, irrespective irrespective of their educational background, irrespective of their ages. Everyone should know that, because even if you are not using it in your professional journey, you can just use it in day-to-day life. You can just draft an email or something. What is prompt engineering? Prompt engineering is just a set of instructions which you are giving to a model.
So now most important, and everyone wants the view of this answer or the point, that is about the salary. Tell us more about the what salary range in 2024 right now in India is going on for the data scientist from the fresher to the senior level, and how it varies from the startup companies, service-based company, and the product-based company.
Yes, it varies a lot. So it depends on few things. First thing is your city in which you are working. Second thing is nature of company. Is it service based? Is it product based? And the third thing which we can say is the scale of company. Even though you are a product based company, but you are a small company, then they won't pay you as much you want. Okay. If it is a big company, MNCs and something, they will pay you good amount of money. Okay. Again, it is not always true. There are many startups who are paying their data scientists well. And there are many large scale companies which are not trying that. So answering this question will be very difficult for me at present. What I will suggest out of it is you should not look upon pay scale. Pay scale is, you should look at just what you can deliver. Pay scale is just a byproduct. You can just Google what are the salaries of this company. You will just get a number. I won't disclose any number over here, and I don't want to do so, because when someone enters this field, they should enter for their professional journey, for money. Yes, money is the most important thing. As I said, will always be a byproduct.
And the sir, next question is about the many students care about the recession. Is there any recession time in India specifically for every year, or it depends upon the how the US market is going on?
Frankly speaking, like, recession won't affect data science. Even if there is a recession, you will have job openings. Just go on LinkedIn and just search data science jobs. You will get number of jobs. Just the thing is, they are looking for more skilled professionals. Let's say I have 1 lakh rupees. Let's take an example. I have 1 lakh rupees. I'm owning a company and I want to hire two person. Both of them are like mid-level skilled. They are not highly skilled, and they are not very raw. They have the mid-level knowledge. I'm getting one person who is able to do all the things very effectively in 70k. Instead of giving this to 50k, I will give that person 70k. I will hire him and I will just save my 30k. Right? But what is happening from a outsider perspective? What we are thinking? No, instead of two jobs, only one person is getting job. That's not the case. Person is skilled. Person is able to do the job of two people because of his professionalism, because of his skill set, and because of his experience. As I said, whenever you are looking for a job, just be prepared, and with like recruiter should look at you as like, this is an asset for my company. He should not look just, this is a candidate for my company. No, you should be the asset of company. And Dipender Goyal, founder of Zomato, he just quoted one sentence in one of his podcasts. He don't look for people who are looking for job. He automatically selects those who are willing or just who are capable of doing that. So you should be with that mindset always. I'm not saying you should not look for job. You should go as an asset, not as a candidate.
Yes, you should enhance your LinkedIn profile so you can come in the first list of the searchable things.
Right.
How you can act on in LinkedIn, that also really matters. So sir, are you planning to do master's degree in future?
I'm not sure, like not right away. Yes, I will definitely do in upcoming 5 to 10 years.
So what do you think, that doing masters in India is good or in other countries?
Doesn't matter. You see, knowledge can't be categorized as valuable or invaluable. Knowledge is knowledge. Knowledge is just like, you can't compare, you can't just value it. This is great, this is not great. No, knowledge is knowledge. What matters is how you're consuming it. So whether you can consume it in Chennai, in IIT Madras, or you can consume it in US, Stanford, they are going to deliver the same. There is no university who is saying, no, we are not teaching well. They are doing their jobs. It's our willingness, how we are consuming it and how we are doing it. I'm just giving an example as Vijayadashmi is going on. So Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, he studied from a government school. It doesn't matter.
Yes. It's really true that it doesn't matter how you consume, is matter. So, sir, also going through your LinkedIn profile, I saw that you have a good volunteer experience in NSS camp. How does that NSS camp experience you get, and how it is beneficial in your professional life? Because volunteer things we learn out of the book or out of the college. So, how it helps you in professional journey?
NSS, as the name suggests, National Service Scheme. You just need to. People think like NSS is just like picking the plastic papers and plastic bottles from the road. No, it's not. It's just you need to collaborate with the team. You need to plan for betterment of society. That was a motto of NSS. Not me but you, something like that. So NSS helped me in collaborating with people. So as per my experience with NSS, what I learned is I can mingle up with people very easily. Not talking about like making friends and going for a party. No, I'm not talking about that. Talking about the professional phase. Whenever you want to convey something, I can convey my message well, and I can understand understand people, like what they are saying. That is what I learned through analysis, because there you need to listen to the people and you just need to address their queries, address their issues. So this was my experience.
So, sir, I want to ask, what is the one mistake you've done in your professional life or educational journey, and what is the thing you get to learn from it?
So first most hilarious mistake which I did in my life is, in my professional career, is I have not researched about the engineering branch which I was supposed to. As I said, coming from electronics background, I haven't researched for a market. I haven't researched for what type of work they do and something. It was just like I was looking for a government institute at that time. So I had scored enough so that I will enter a government institute. Then I was just like, I'm getting government institute, I'm happy. That's it. I don't care about branch. I should not say it over here, but I was the person who was standing on the row for the spot admission in mechanical. From electronics, I was going to mechanical. Instead of going to computer science, I was about to go to mechanical. But then I switched my mind. So these are the few things which I shouldn't have done at that time. And if I was in computer or IT, it should have benefited me a bit more. I'm not saying electronics is not benefiting, but it should have benefited me a bit more.
Sir, we also want to know that any specific certification or any specific bootcamp that gain more experience. Can you please give us that any specific course or from any specific website you have done, and that will be really helpful for you?
So you have one cool stuff called as Coursera. Coursera is just a platform. There are many professional certificates. I'm not talking about courses over here. Okay, courses is just like you enroll in the course, you complete, and that's done. Professional certificate is something which comes with a set of courses. Let's say there are 6, 5, 9, 10, varies from the provider of course. So you need to complete all the courses with good marks. Along with it, you need to complete a capstone project. So capstone project is nothing but whatever you have learned through the series of courses, you need to implement that in a project. Once you submit that project, then you will be awarded with that professional certificate. That is what everyone should look at when they are looking from a course taking perspective or some learning perspective, certification perspective. Along with professional certificate, they also provide specialization. Please do that. Just a disclaimer, not promoting anything, but there are some cool courses from IITs as well. Nowadays, IITs are giving admission without JEE. That is a cool step. They are just building your foundation. They are building your mid-level. They are just making you an expert in a field of data science. I've gone through the syllabus. Syllabus is quite good, and yes, they are available. So you can please go ahead.
So, sir, my last question is on this podcast is, where do you see India in next 5 years in the data science industry? How we can compare us with countries like US, UK? Who will be legend, or we can say who will be rule in the data industry?
I'm not an pundit who will know the future, but yeah, giving an answer for this question in one sentence, Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, they have challenged India can't build an LLM model. What I can say is, in the upcoming 10 years, India may have 10 or 20 OpenAIs. What Sam Altman have said, challenged the Indian talent. CEO of Google is Indian, and CEO of Microsoft, who is involved in OpenAI, is also an Indian. You forgot that.
Because the one thing for the AI, like machine learning and the things, that is more about the mathematics. And I think so, means it's my personal experience that if you go through the portion of the study portion of the school portion of the US also and India also, we are the Indians that we learn the statistics in the 4th standard or the 5th standard of our school, and they learn in the 8th and 10th standard. Moreover, I also see the entry exam of the masters or the MBA of the Stanford and thing, that Michigan University, that they have the portion more about the other subjects, not about the mathematics. Before the era of 2017, they have the portion more about the mathematics part, but they understand that the maths are the not tough thing for the Indians to crack, and they are not good in maths. Means I personally realized this. See, more about the talking about the generative AI LLM model, I think there are the many problems in India that our AI engineers already working on them. For example, if you are AI engineer, if you are in India, you are AI engineer, what is your first priority? You are doing the AI model or AI tool is about to solve any problem that will be helpful for the peoples because of our population. You don't think that I will make the AI tool for the image generation. Right. You will not get the fund also and the things also in India I'm talking about. So yeah, there are the main problems they will solve, and yeah, I just say that 100% in 5 years many models from the India side.
Geo is already thinking. TCS is also thinking about an LLM.
But for also I read one article that if you are going to build like thing like a ChatGPT and thing, you have the funds. It's a major role of the funds, because till now the other companies like Amazon are also struggling to get into this field, but they not came like that like ChatGPT. Even everyone is trying. So funds also matter at some point.
Matter.
Yes. Sir. So before closing the podcast, that I also want to tell that audience that Gaurav sir is also available on a TopMate, that they can suggest you or guide you for your career journey or the resume selection or the interview process. If you have any queries or the doubts, you can check out their LinkedIn. You'll get the link of one-to-one call them. Yeah, 100% they will resolve your all the queries and doubts. I will put this link in my bio. You can check it out. And Gaurav sir, thank you so much for coming to my podcast and giving us a valuable knowledge and sharing us the valuable tips and tricks with all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. I just appeal to the audience who are looking at this podcast. Chaitanya have started this cool stuff. I myself have gone through one of his previous podcasts, which was on Excel. Then I realized I just came across this podcast a little late. I should come across this podcast when I was just starting a career. Then should have started Excel in the start of my journey. So he's coming up with the good topics and the cool stuffs. Good going, Chaitanya. All the best for your journey.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Please let me know in the comment which guest would you like to see on this podcast and any specific topics you would like us to discuss with them. We will try to bring those guests and ask your questions so you will get more helpful information. Before you go, share this episode with someone. It might really help them because one conversation can change a person's life, giving them a new idea and direction. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you in next video.